Hello friends, welcome to this online series of lectures on operations research. In this lecture, we will study about an example. We will solve an example based on integer programming. So, find the solution using integer simplex method. So, what we are going to do is, there are a couple of methods to solve the integer programming problem. First and the foremost one is the graphical method. Second one is branch and bound method. This third one, which is called as the Gomori cutting plane method, which is an extension of simplex method. We will solve an example based on the simplex method, extended simplex method to solve the integer programming problem. The special case of linear programming is the integer programming, where you have the constraints x1 and x2 which are the non-negative. Here if you see, only difference is from simplex method and from the integer programming problem is that this x1 and x2 are the non-negative integers. The decision variables here are non-negative, right? So first of all, the objective function is given here 7x1 plus 6x2. This is from the previous lecture only, where I introduced the formulation of the integer programming. Subject to these two constraints are given for chandeliers and fans, right? The company is manufacturing this, profit is realized here and the company wants to maximize it. So let's introduce the slack variables here. So slack variables will be 7x1 plus 6x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2, right? And we have introduced first slack variable and second variable according to the constraints, as well as x1 and x2 plus and s1 and s2 are greater than equal to 0. These are the non-negativity constraints. So starting with the simplex method, we will put down the variables and coefficients here. The variables are x1, x2, s1, s2. We have written the coefficients as well here, right? And also the coefficients of constraints I have written here, right? The basic variables are s1 and s2 here. That is this. Now, if we calculate with the help of linear programming simplex method, we will calculate Zj first, right? So, since these two are 0, we will get Zj equal to 0 here, because 2 into 0 plus 6 into 0 is 0. So, Zj minus Cj, here we have calculated Zj minus Cj, right? So, what is that? 0 minus 7 is minus 7. 0 minus 6 is minus 6. 0 minus 0 is 0, and likewise, right? Now negative minimum here if you see, which is minus 7. So this is our column index, or you can say pivot column, right? So what is our next step? What we do? We try to divide this with the variables here, that is x3 here, that is 12 and 30. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, that is the ratio here. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So what we look for? We look for the minimum ratio here, least positive, that is 5. So this is our key row or pivot row, right? So the intersection of pivot row and pivot column is the key element or the pivot element, right? That is 6. So we will iterate in second time. We will prepare a new table based on the old these formulas. So what is that? R2, that is the new row. This new row is based on the formula, that is R2 old values of row in number 2 divide by 6. Why divide by 6? Because the pivot element is 6, right? In the same way, we have got the R1 row, that is this row, with the help of the formula here, R1 old minus 2 R2, that is new. So just put the values here and you will get the new values, that is 2, 0, 4 by 3, 1 and minus 1 by 3, right? So after putting these values here for the new table, what is our next step? We will calculate the Zj. So what is Zj here? 0. Again, what I want to tell is, here if you see here 7 minus 7, the variable this x1 is the entering variable, right? And with corresponding the variable corresponding to this pivot row, that is s2, that is shown in red here, is the leaving variable. So instead of s2, we will write x1. So that is what I have done here. So I have written x1 here. Clear? Now what is the next step here? So Zj, if you calculate here, 0 into 0. Now here the coefficient of x1 is written, that is 7. That is here coefficient is 7. So I have written 7 here. So 0 into 0 plus 1 into 7 is 7. In the same way, 4 by 3 into 0 plus 5 by 6 into 7, that is 35 by 6. And likewise. Here. Now Zj minus Cj is 7 minus 7 is 0. 35 by 6 minus 6 is minus 1 by 6 and likewise. Clear? So what is our next step? we look into the negative number, that is minus 1 by 6, and its column index, that is the negative minimum, right? So column index is this one, that is pivot column. Again we will divide xb, 2 divided by 4 by 3, that is 3 by 2, 1.5, right? Same way 7 divided by 5 by 6 is coming out to be 6. Here also when you calculate this minimum ratio here, you will look for the least positive number, that is this one. So this is our least positive number, and this S1 is the leaving variable, and the pivot column, the variable x2 is the entering variable. So instead of S1 we will write x2 here. Here again we will iterate here, and the intersection of this pivot column and pivot row is 4 by 3. So this 4 by 3 is our pivot element. So what we will do in the new table, we are going to get the new values by dividing this 4 by 3 with all the elements. So that is what I have done here. So dividing by 4 by 3 or multiplying by 3 by 4, you get the new values, right? So that is what I have done here. I got the new values. Same with the R2 row, I have got the new values of R2. So what is our next step? We try to calculate in this new table Zj, right? So Zj is, what is entering variable here? X2, and x2 was the entering variable. So the corresponding variable or the corresponding coefficient was 6. So I have written 6 here. So by preparing this new table, we will write the Zj here. So how do you write Zj? Just multiply this variable 0 into 6 plus 1 into 7, that is 7. In the next column here for this 1 into 6 plus 7 into 0, that is 6, and likewise, right? So Zj minus Cj, 7 minus 7 is 0, 6 minus 6 is 0, 1 by 8 minus 0 is 1 by 8, 9 by 8 minus 0 is 9 by 8. Now if you see carefully, we have arrived at the optimal solution. Why? Because Zj minus Cj all are positive or 0, right? It means that we have arrived at the optimal solution. And the solution is, if you carefully see here, x1 equal to 15 by 4 and x2 equal to 3 by 2. So that is what I have written here. And maximize z is equal to 141 by 4. Now, if you see this is not an integer, right? The constraint, the non-negativity constraints were that x1 and x2 should be integer, and here we have got the fractional values. So what we can do is, we will proceed to construct the Gomori's fractional cut. So how do you do that? With the help of x1 row, right? So here if you see the x1 row, 15 by 4 here, this x1 row, right? 15 by 4, this one is equal to 1 x1 plus 0 x2 minus 5 by 8 s1 plus 3 by 8 s2. That is what I have written here. Now convert them into the whole number and the fraction. 3 plus 3 by 4 plus 1 plus 0 x1 plus minus 1 plus 3 by 8 s1 plus 0 plus 3 by 8 s2. Why are we doing this? Because we are removing this fractional part from this Gomori cut. Now if you see the fractional cut here, convert them into the negative part. So negative part is minus 3 by 4, right? And we introduce this Gomori variable. This is the Gomori variable SG1, Gomori slack variable, right? Minus 3 by 8 s1 minus 3 by 8 s2, that is first cut we will do. Why are we writing this? We will introduce this fractional cut into the new modified table. So that is what we have done. We have added this Gomori constraint here as SG1, right? So minus 3 by 4, 0, 0, minus 3 by 8, minus 3 by 8, and the Gomori cut, this variable has the coefficient 1 here, that is this one. This is 1 here, minus 3 by 4 is the RHS, minus 3 by 8, minus 3 by 8. That is this one, right? Again, what we will do, we will calculate Zj. So how do we calculate Zj? Multiply 0 into 6 plus 1 into 7 plus 0 into 0, that is 7, and likewise, right? So Zj minus Cj we have calculated here as well. Now let's look into the ratio of Zj minus Cj upon the Gomori variables here, these ones. If you divide them, that is Zj minus 1 by 8 divided by minus 3 by 8, you will get minus 0.33. In the same way, this Zj minus Cj 9 by 8, right? Divide by this one, minus 3 by 8, you will get this minus 3. Now, if you look into this the minimum negative is minus 3 by 4, right? You see carefully here, that is this one, minus 3 by, and the row index is 3, that is third number of row. The leaving variable is SG1, that is this one. If I have already shown here in this one, so this is our leaving variable, right? And the index, the column index is this one. So intersection is minus 3 by 8, right? So divide the new old values with this minus 3 by 8, you will get the new values, right? In the same way for both the rows, with the help of this formula, we can get the new values of these 3 rows. Specifically for this row, we have this formula R3, right? So we have the modified table here, this iteration 2, where we have put the values here. Again, by putting the values here, what is the leaving variable was SJ1. If you see here carefully, the leaving variable here was SJ1 and entering was S1. So that is what I have done here. I have written S1 here, right? By putting this in the table here, we are going to calculate Zj. Again, after calculating Zj value, if we calculate Zj minus Cj, we get all the positive value. We are not going to calculate the ratio because we have already achieved the all positive or 0 value, or you can say the optimal solution. So in the next step, so what is the optimal solution here? So x1, x2, if you see here x1, x2, right, is 0, 5 and z is 35. So that is our answer here. So x1 is 5 here, x2 is 0 and z is equal to 35. So if you carefully see, is x1, x2, they all are integers. So we have arrived at the integer solution of this integer programming problem, and the maximum z or the objective function realized is 35, and we have arrived at the solution by performing the one Gomori cut. So in this way we can easily solve the problem of integer programming with the help of Gomori cutting plane method. Thank you.